No one intervened on behalf of...
And now, coming to you live from atop the Goldenrod City radio tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL TCGcast!
Hello, and welcome to the 102nd episode of the PUCL TCGcast with your host, Basket. We've got two topics today. First, we'll go over the decks of the winners in each division for the North American International Championships 2022. And then we'll talk about the cards that you should know about from the Pokemon Go mini set that is currently out. But I'm not alone, you see. With me today, I have the ever-extravagant, unflinchingly fabulous, categorically cantankerous Sublime Manic.
Hello.
It's good to have you in today, buddy. How you been?
I'm doing, well, trying to beat the heat. My gosh, I hate it. I moved to the Pacific Northwest to avoid the heat, and it followed me, you know? But I think I'm going to use Unflinchingly Fabulous as my calling card now. That was good.
Okay. All right, then. Let's slip on some sweet shades, flip on those flops, and head down to the topical beach.
Grab your ice-cold Corsola Cola and pull up a chair. It's time for Tropical Beach.
All right. So, as promised, we're going to go over the winners in each of the categories. So first off, in the North American International Championships 2022, for the Masters, we have Azul Garcia Grego. I'm sure I screwed that up. Sublime, do you have a better...
Azul Garcia Griego. I think you said it pretty right, yeah.
All right, cool. And he was using Arceus and Flying Pikachu.
That's wild. That is
Hilarious
wild
to
to
me.
me. That is hilarious, truly. Flying Pikachu is the winner. I love that.
And it's funny because we'll go over the other top decks in the Masters divisions in a little bit, but it makes so much sense to me because there's so much water. There was so much water.
There is. You know what? It was a long time coming because for years it just felt like there wasn't a viable water deck. It was all fire for so long, and water deserves its moment again. So I'm here for the water renaissance. Make it rain. It's the summer. We need to cool off.
And then the seniors and the juniors had the same basic parts for their decks. Both of them ran Palkia and Inteleon. I'm going to butcher the seniors division champion's name, I'm sure. But for the seniors division, Rune Heermans had his Palkia and Inteleon and won. And then for the juniors, Nathan O, his Palkia and Inteleon won. So congratulations to all of our...
Congratulations, y'all. Y'all the future. Y'all the future of the TCG. And Rune is a really cool name. I feel like his parents did good.
Yeah.
Good for him.
All right. And now we'll go to Azul Garcia.
We'll just say Azul.
Yeah,
That's
Azul.
cool.
Yeah.
You ever wanted to name your child after a color? Just do it in a different language. Maybe no one will know.
Not that you're listening, but I apologize profusely. I'm just going to call you Azul.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, for his deck, he had 4 Arceus V, 3 Arceus V-Star, 3 Flying Pikachu V, and 2 Flying Pikachu V Max. 2 Bidoof, 2 Bibarel.
Love a barrel engine.
Oh yeah, those are becoming staples, and rightly so.
Yeah.
And then 1 Crobat V and 1 Crobat V Max, as well as a single Pumpkaboo for the Pumpkin Pit ability. And then trainers, 4 Marnie, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Boss's Orders, 2 Charon's Care, 1 Roxanne, 1 Raihan, 1 Phoebe, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, 2 Evolution Incense, 1 Switch, 1 Pal Pad, 4 Path to the Peak, and then its energy count was 12, and that's 4 double turbo energy, 4 lightning energy, 3 darkness energy, and 1 capture energy.
12 is definitely on the high side, I think, compared to some of the other decks. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, it feels like this was a deck built to kind of counter what other people were playing, and it clearly worked.
Yeah.
But the flying Pikachu, I still can't get over that. That's great.
Yeah, and I don't know if any of you listeners have slept on looking up the card art for those, but they are absolutely ridiculous. So much fun to look at. And then Sublime, why don't you take the next one, Isaiah?
Yeah, Isaiah Bradner came in second place, and he's who I would have wanted to win just because I'm Team Palkia. Team Palkia for the win. Running his Palkia Inteleon deck, he got a 3-3 line for the Palkia and the V-Star. And then a 3-3-1 for Sobble, Drizzle, and Inteleon. Obviously, you got to run the Radiant Greninja. He got one of those. And then a Manaphy and a Galarian Zigzagoon, because you like your tech options. And only 7 water energy, as opposed to the 12 energy that Azul ran. Also, I find it ironic that Azul is named Blue, but didn't play the water deck. Not that that has anything to do with, like, it wouldn't, but I find it amusing. A lot of cards you'd expect for the trainers in a water-type deck. You got the 4 Irida, love that. You got a Melanie. Boss's Orders, which I'm obsessed with the art for now. It's so much better than when it was Lysander.
Oh yeah, the one with Cyrus?
Yes, with the moon in the background. It is really pretty. Get into it. I feel like we should do an art rating episode. Well, why rate the value of the cards? We should rate the art.
You know what? We should. Flying Pikachu.
That'd be fun. Yeah, Flying Pikachu wins by default just for being Flying Pikachu. You got your paths to the peak, though, and a training court. So 2 different stadiums, and only 1 of each. You got but I mean, as is the case with most decks, it's more trainer cards than anything else. It's 16 Pokemon, 7 energy, and 37 trainer. I love the 4 cross switcher, though. Big fan of that one, because you need to play 2 at a time. And I particularly like it with Arceus, because you can search for whatever. This has it, but didn't run Arceus, so I like that. It's spicy.
Yeah, I like having more options of moving your opponent's Pokemon around the way you want.
Yeah, that seems to be... anything that protects you on the bench is no longer safe these days, so, you gotta prepare accordingly.
Alright, and then next up we have...
Oh, see, this is a name I would mess up.
Sander Wojcik?
They're from the Netherlands.
Yes, and they have a pretty fun deck.
Yes, they do.
It's a Mewtwo Miltank. So, they've got 4 Snorlax, 2 Miltank, 2 Yveltal, 2 Galarian Meowth, 1 Pukimiuku, and then 1 each of the Mewtwo V Union cards. Those ones that you put together to make one big one. And then we've got 2 Professor's Research, 2 Celine. I didn't play 4. Oh wait, no. This is from the Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Flannery, Peonia. Sorry, 2 Flannery, 2 Peonia, 1 Team Yell's Cheer. I love the artwork for Team Yell's Cheer. They're all so excited and pumped up. It's awesome. And then another Boss's Orders, 1 Avery, Sydney, 1 Cook. What is Cook? Oh, 70 damage. Okay. And then an Ultra Ball. Sorry, 4 Ultra Balls, 4 Quick Balls, 4 Trekking Shoes, 4 Crushing Hammer, 4 Scoop Up Net, 2 Palpad, 1 Cape of Toughness, 1 Big Parasol, 1 Tool Jammer, and 1 Rose Tower, as well as a very small energy count, just 6 in total, 3 Twin Energy and 3 Psychic Energy.
Yes, although you gotta love the Twin Energy because this deck is running, the Miltank, which is, of course, just a regular, smegular basic. We love that for Miltank, yes. I know a lot of Puckle people have been wanting to do stuff with Miltank, so it clearly can get great results. Also, I think this is the only thing in the top 5 that run V-Union, so that's cool too for the Mewtwo, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more out of the box interesting decks.
A lot of 1-ofs too, which is cool, very adaptable.
All right, you want to take Brian Kim?
Yeah, Brian Kim came in 4th, and we're representing Inteleon with the Arceus. So you had your Palkia with your Arceus, and this one is the... you have the... I said Palkia with Arceus when I meant to say Palkia with Inteleon. This is Arceus with Inteleon. So I really do like how you can combine different things, different kind of, Pokemon together for decks. So you got the 4 Arceus, which is generous. I think most people usually run 3. And then 3 V-Star, of course. And then 4, 4, and 2 line for the Inteleon. Oh, actually, it's 3 Inteleon, but 2 different kind. You have 2 of the Shady Dealings, 1 of the Quick Shooting. So really, it's a 4-4-3 line. And then a Manaphy and a Dunsparce. Spicy. Get rid of that weakness, because they knew. They knew that flying Pikachu was out and about. So they said, you know what? No weakness.
They saw flying Pikachu floating above the arena.
We're like, we're good, we're good. We don't need that. And then also kind of interesting, this one, well, that makes sense actually, because you've got the Arceus. It's got 7 water energy and 3 double turbo, whereas the Palkia Inteleon decks only need to run basics. This one gets to use the double turbo for your Arceus. 30 trainer cards, which is a little on the low side, but I like that. So you got your 2 Melanie, 2 Marnie, 2 Sharon's Care, 1 Boss's Order. Also, by the way, can we just talk about how great Sharon's Care is with Arceus? That's ridiculous. That is really good. Because it picks up a colorless.
For those of you that don't know, you can put one of your colorless Pokemon that has any damage counters on it and all attached cards into your hand.
So if you thought you were snatching up all them prizes, Sharon said, no, not from Arceus. Sorry. I love that. And it pulls it back into the hand like, oh, so good. Like, what were they thinking? They knew what they were thinking. I don't know why I said that. They knew. They knew. You got 1 Boss's Orders, 1 Professor's Research, 1 Roxanne. See, this is the problem. I'm just so obsessed with Professor's Research because I always want to be digging. I'm always like, 4 Professor's Research. That's a me problem. This is a me problem. Got the Roxanne, 4 Quick Ball. We love that. 3 Level, 3 Ultra, 2 Evolution Incense, 2 Scoop Ups. Because they didn't have enough ways to get stuff back in your hand, you know? An Ordinary Rod, Pad Pal, 2 Big Charms, 2 Path to the Peak, and 1 Collapsed Stadium. I'm noticing a lot of these decks don't have very thick stadium counts. And this is actually the thickest we've seen so far, and it's only 3. Now I'm realizing what my problem is. I'm always putting too many stadiums and too many Professor Research. I like thick lines of stadiums. I want to control the stadium. That's I need to be in control, and I need to let go of that. That's what I'm realizing.
Yeah, you just found that out, you know? Sublime needs to be in control.
I don't like them being in charge of the stadium. I want to be in charge of the stadium.
All right, so in 5th place, we have Gustavo Wada.
From Brazil, yes.
Yes, and with a Palkia Inteleon as well. They're doing a 3-3 line of Palkia V and V-Star. And then they've got a 4-3-2 Inteleon line. 1 Inteleon with Shady Dealings and 1 with the Quick Shooting. Radiant Greninja, Manaphy, and Crobat V. Then 3 Irida, 1 Melanie, 1 Raihan, 1 Boss's Orders, 1 Leon, 1 Marnie, 1 Roxanne, 4 Cross Switcher, 4 Quick Ball, 3 Capacious Bucket, 2 Evolution Incense, 2 Scoop Up Net, 2 Level Ball, 1 Ultra Ball, 1 Battle VIP Pass, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, 1 Rare Candy, 1 Ordinary Rod, 1 Echoing Horn, 1 Choice Belt, 1 Tool Jammer, and 1 Training Court. And then they've got 7 energy, all basic water.
Yeah, because this deck don't have a problem with energy, getting your energy when you need it. This is something I really love when you're looking at deck lists from a tournament. How a lot of people can run the same deck archetypes, but you could really see how you could customize it to how you want to play, or what you think is best, in the numbers of things you're playing, right? I thought it was really interesting that this was a 4-3-2 Sobble line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a lot of people usually run a bit thicker, the 4-4s, right? Or only 3 Irida. I know the last one had 4, so... Yeah, do you! Couldn't be me, though, with only 1 stadium. That disturbs me. And no Pumpkaboo. I guess they just don't care.
Yes. One more time, I'd like to congratulate Azul, Rune, Nathan, Isaiah, Sander, Brian, and Gustavo, all for
everybody
doing a
fantastic
job this year. You guys killed it.
It's the flying Pikachu for me. The flying Pikachu, that's amazing.
All right. And now we'll move to the second part that I promised you before. Well, we'll go over the cards that you should know about from the mini Go set that was released. So first off, we're going to talk about Magikarp. So it's Water type, HP 30, and it has its first attack for 1 colorless, Lively Grouping. Search your deck for any number of Magikarp, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Then we have a 2 colorless, and this is what we're here for, guys. We've got a 2 colorless attack, Raging Fin, 10 plus. This attack does 30 more damage for each Magikarp and Gyarados in your discard pile. Weakness to lightning ×2. Resistance.
Not that it matters.
Not that it matters, yeah. I mean, it's got 30 HP. We're not...
Yeah, like, I don't think you need to hit for weakness, y'all. You're good.
No. You just need to give it a gentle slap. So, you've seen Night March with a higher damage cap in Mad Party. And now you've got a Night March with fewer pieces, and it actually does more damage as well. Night March tops out at 240. Magikarp tops out at 250, which it's not a whole lot more, but that extra definitely helps. How are we getting those numbers? Well, you're not actually going to use Magikarp or the Gyaradoses, because the Gyaradoses don't have Raging Fin, to attack. You instead are going to use Ditto, Sublime. How about you tell us about Ditto?
Yeah, let's talk about the Ditto. It's a basic from this set, because I don't know how many people are still playing Go, I'm not, but I think we have all, if you have, had the experience of trying to cast something and then it turns into a Ditto, and I'm like, rude. After the first time. After the first time, you're like, yay, Ditto. Anytime after that, rude. Doesn't even have any attack, it just has the ability Sudden Transformation. And 70 HP. This Pokemon can use the attacks of any basic Pokemon in your discard pile, except for Pokemon with a rule box, so Pokemon V or GX. As examples of rule boxes. And they future-proofed it, because it said those as examples, but other things could have rule boxes too. And you still need the energy to use the attack. I mean, it has more than double the HP of Magikarp, so that's nice.
Yeah, but we're just looking to slap. We're not scared of the clapback. We know what's going to happen when it happens. We're going down. It's all about the slap. All right. And next up, we've got a Melmetal VMAX. So, this monster's got 330 HP. It is a steel type. Metal.
Why did they do that? I just can't get over metal. Why did we do that? Why can't we just call it steel? Ain't no metal type. But that's besides the point. I'm sorry, continue.
So for 3 metal energy, you have G-Max Juggernaut. It does 160 damage plus. This attack does 60 more damage for each extra metal energy attached to this Pokemon, in addition to the attack's cost. You can't add more than 120 damage in this way. So this guy, if you're able to max it out, we're looking at 300 straight damage.
280.
It is fantastic. For 3 metal energy, that's a great, great hit.
I think it's for 5 metal energy, actually, if I'm reading this right. So it says it does 60 more damage for each extra metal energy in addition to the attack.
You're right. Yes, yes. The attack cost itself is 3, but to get the extra 120, you got to add 2 more. So yes, it's 5 total to slap with the 300.
One thing I'm noticing with this set, actually, is it's kind of mirroring a lot of effects from the base or very early sets of Pokemon. Because that's basically like all water Pokemon in like the first year of the TCG, where they could do extra damage if you had extra energy. And of course, you've got the 3 Kanto starter evolutions that also remind me of their base energy, of their base set forms as well, in certain ways.
Do you want to jump to those, or do you want to continue on?
We'll jump to them later. Let's do Solrock, because I like Solrock. It's got a pleasing shape. I don't mess with Lunatone, I mess with Solrock. Alright, so this is an interesting one, because it says once during your turn, you may attach a Psychic Energy card from your discard pile to one of your Lunatone. And I have to talk about Lunatone. Ugh. Anyway. Also, Solrock has 90 HP. It's a fighting type, and it has a 1 attack that is garbage. Spinning attack, 1 fighting, 1 colorless. It does 50, and it's weak to grass. Back to the Lunatone, it has 2 attacks, and it's a Psychic type Pokemon with 90 HP. The first one is Cycle Draw for just 1 Psychic Energy. It's discard a card from your hand and then draw 3 cards. And then the second attack, the one that actually does damage, Lunar Kinesis, costs 3 colorless and it's 30 plus damage, and it does 30 more damage for each Psychic Energy attached to this Pokemon. I suppose you could have 4 Solrock in a best case scenario and attach 4 energy a turn from the discard pile, hypothetically. You wouldn't, but you could.
Yeah, it's an interesting pair, and, potentially unlimited damage is pretty intense.
Yeah, go play it at casual night. Go play it at casual night. It'll be fun. It won't win like a tournament, but it's fun. And it's a single prize attacker, which we love.
Yes, I'm a fan of the single prize. All right, next up we've got Mewtwo V-Star. 280 HP, psychic type of course, and it has, its first attack is called Psy-Purge for 1 psychic and a colorless. It does 90 times damage. Discard up to 3 psychic energy from your Pokemon. This attack does 90 damage for each card you discard in this way.
Ooh, so that's what you do with the Solrock Lunatone.
That is some serious damage right there. That is fantastic.
That's what you're using your Lunatones for. Mm-hmm. That's actually, now the deck is more fun, yeah. You're using real damage now instead of Lunatone's paltry amount.
Let's see. Okay, so then we've got the V-Star power, Star Raid for a psychic and a colorless. This attack does 120 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon V. This damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. That's pretty cool, too. That's a pretty good attack.
Yeah. All of those really big, does a bunch of damage to all of your blank opposite Pokemon. You can really change, someone will eventually do this. I'm not saying they're going to win like a tournament with it, but someone is going to win a game in one turn and take all 6 prizes with that attack someday. And it's going to feel real good. Right? If you could just get like 2 or 3 knockouts at once, feels good.
Yeah, that's a pretty dangerous little trump card to have.
But it won't be Arceus because they're just going to share in them,
All right. Do you want to take your favorite Pokemon ever in the history of Pokemon?
Well, it's many people's favorite Pokemon ever, I suppose. Not me, but lots of people, because it's Charizard, because we can't have enough Charizard cards. I blame so many people. But it's Radiant Charizard, which means it's a basic, and we do like that. And it's got, they all have an ability, all of these Radiant Kanto starters that are Radiant. This one's got 160 HP and is a fire type, of course. And it's got the ability Excited Heart. This Pokemon's attack costs 1 colorless energy less for each prize card your opponent has taken, which is a setup, because the attack is called Combustion Blast, and it costs 5 energy, 1 fire, 4 colorless. So if they've taken 4, it just costs 1 fire. And that is actually pretty wild, because it does 250 damage, although it also says during your next turn this Pokemon can't use Combustion Blast. It does qualify for Twin Energy, though, so that's something to think about.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's an awesome card to have in your back pocket, for sure.
Wonky, but potentially very strong.
Yeah. And there is another Charizard that we're going to talk about as well, and I'm just going to get him out of the way real quick. So, this one's a Stage 2 Charizard. 170 HP, fire typing, of course. Ability Burn Brightly. Each basic fire energy attached to your Pokemon provides 2 fire energy. You can't apply more than 1 Burn Brightly ability at a time. And then you've got Flare Blitz for 2 fire and 2 colorless. 170 damage. Discard all fire energy from this Pokemon.
And this is a regular Stage 2, so, you know. Although we did get Rare Candy in this set, which I missed Rare. That's a card that should just, always be. I love having Rare Candy in the format rotation.
Yeah, Rare Candy was like a staple almost the entire time.
I feel like it's a necessity if you want to give, evolution decks a chance.
Yeah. There were a lot of shenanigans, though. Cards that were put out that had stupid, crazy abilities because they were Stage 2s. And then we got Forest of Giant Plants and... Well,
Forest of Giant Plants might have been a mistake. That's fair. Rare Candy, you're having to commit to the deck space. You're having... Yeah. And it's not like they're gonna, be better than all of these V-Stars, usually. So, I like that it gives them an opportunity to be viable decks.
Definitely. And then go ahead and take the Radiant Blastoise.
Sure. We got Radiant Blastoise, which is also a basic, with 150 HP and a water type, naturally. This one has an ability called Pump Shot. It says you must discard a water energy from your hand in order to use this ability, and then once during your turn, You may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. I like that a lot. I like that it can stack. I believe we have some pretty good ways to get water energy from the discard pile back pretty easily, so that's nice. Yeah, I could see this being usable. It's extra damage and not hard to, set up.
What are the rulings on Radiant? Like, you can have multiple Radiants.
Oh, you're right. You can't have more than 1 Radiant Pokemon in your deck. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, it says it right on the card.
Oh, I can't. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, I just wanted to double check real quick.
So they have to, compel you to want to use them.
Yeah.
A la Greninja. I mean, it's nice. I don't know if it's the best Radiant, one you'd want to use, but, it's nice. And it has 1 attack called Torrential Cannon for 170 damage. It costs 2 water and a colorless, and then, just like Charizard, you can't use it next turn after you use it. And that seems uncompelling for 170, but I guess it's kind of cheap. Not that cheap. It's fine.
Alright, and next up we've got Radiant Venusaur. HP 150, Grass type. Ability Sunny Bloom. Once at the end of your turn, after your attack, you may use this ability. Draw cards until you have 4 cards in your hand. Not bad.
It's the fact that it's after the attack that's interesting and unusual. Because usually once you attack, you just do nothing. It's the end of your turn. So the fact that it does that, it makes it worse, frankly, because you can't use the cards you draw that same turn.
I was rapidly in my mind trying to figure out is there some sort of fun thing you can do? But it's no, it's after your attack. So it's something you can do after your attack, and you normally can't do anything after your attack, but...
I mean, it helps you for next turn, but you'd rather the tempo of having cards you have the option of messing with that turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd pass on that one personally. Plus we got Bibarel. Everybody loves Bibarel. That lets you have up to 5.
Yeah.
And before your turn ends. Really, Radiant Venusaur? Really?
And then it does have an attack for 2 grass energy and a colorless Pollen Hazard. Does 90 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned, confused, and poisoned. Triple threat. Alright.
I do want to talk about the non-Radiant Venusaur and Blastoise as well, since we did both Charizards. It can't always be all about Charizard,
Alright, go for it.
Alright, because these have really cool abilities, and Rare Candy's back. So, the option is there. The Blastoise, 170 HP, Water type, obviously. I just want to talk about the ability, because that's why we're here. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 6 energy cards. And it don't say basic, for the record. And attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. If you use this ability, your turn ends. Yeah, your turn ends, but 6? And it's not limited to basic? That is bananas. And then it has a Hydro Pump for 4 colorless that does 90 and then 30 for each water. That's nice, but the ability, I don't know. I get that you lose your turn, but there has to be a way to take advantage of 6 energy. In fact, you could pair it with the Alolan Exeggutor, but we're not talking about that. Let's talk about the regular Venusaur, which I also really like, even though it's coin flipped based. It's a stage 2 with 180 HP, but it has an ability called Loopy Lasso, which once during your turn you flip a coin, and if you get a heads, you can switch your opponent's benched Pokemon with their active, and it becomes Asleep and Poison. So it's on-demand boss's order on a coin flip. I don't know, I feel like that might be worth it in an era with Rare Candy. There might be some way to use that for consistency on getting what you want in the active without having to spam boss's orders. Because most people only run 1.
No, I really do like that ability.
Yeah. And of course you'll do a little extra with the poison, so...
Yeah. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take the next one.
Go ahead.
So, next up we have a trainer card. This is Stadium, and it's called Pokestop. Once during each player's turn, that player may discard 3 cards from the top of their deck. If a player discarded any item cards in this way, they put those item cards into their hand. This is really cool, because I like the ability to thin my deck, and item cards let you grab usually what you're trying to grab in the first place. So.
Most of your deck is item cards, objectively speaking,
Yeah.
Do be aware, though, because it gives your opponent the option, too. It's one of those doesn't benefit only one player cards, necessarily. That's a good interpretation of how a Pokestop works, though, for, translating it to a TCG.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the little gimmick. Alright, and then last we've got one more Pokemon. Go ahead and take it away, Sublime.
It's the Slowbro. I'm not understanding this. We'll get into it. So it has 120 HP and it's a water type. Stage 1. Has 2 attacks. One is Spinning Dance, which is 1 colorless, and it does just 20 damage, and then they're both asleep. Both active Pokemon are asleep. That's terrible. What's interesting is its other attack, Twilight Flash, which is a double colorless, so you could splash this in anything. Not that you would, but you could. And this attack can only be used if your opponent has one prize card remaining. But this is what's weird. Why does it say, take 2 prize cards? If there's only one remaining...
Because your opponent has a prize card, right? They've got one remaining. You take 2 prize cards from yourself.
Oh, I was thinking that you like if you had one. I see. Yeah, that makes more sense. For some reason, I was thinking it was you having one, not them. I mean, I guess. Yeah, that's obviously it could be a really strong, powerful winning or comeback mechanic, but I don't think it would be worth the space.
Yeah, I mean, it is a stage 1. This isn't a basic, so you do have to find deck space for it. And right now, with the current meta, I mean, there are still like three prize. I think it would very much depend on your deck specifically.
That's always true.
If you're running ones that have like the 3 that your opponent gets 3 prize cards when they're taken down, or like you can play with the numbers, I guess. Like if you've got this sitting on your bench and just waiting, like mouth foaming, to try and do something. It's odd, but it's like that has the potential to be in any deck. It has the potential to just, I mean, it doesn't even do any damage. It's just, you just take 2 prize cards if they've got 1 prize card remaining. It's just, it's a potential win button that's not always there, It's interesting, at the very least.
It is interesting for sure. That's true.
All right. And then, so that will end that for us. We are going to now switch on to our Venusaur Best.
Before you marches a titan. Do not be ashamed of the fear inside you. Embrace it as you witness the Venusaur Best.
Look, you guys, it's a Venusaur!
All right, and we are back with our Venusaur Best. Sublime, how about you start us off?
Alright, for Venusaur Best, I'm gonna take Slacking V because they did him dirty. Like, why are they even doing all that? It is a V card, so it's a basic, and it got some big old chunky HP. It's got 230? Yeah, 230. Colorless type. And this is why I'm like, really? Really? It's not even that good, really. Has the ability Lazy. This Pokemon can't attack if he has 6, 4, or 2 prize cards remaining. Just, yeah, Truant, but in energy measurement. And it has 1 attack for 4 colorless called Heavy Impact, does 260 damage, but half the time you're not going to be able to use it. So, there you go. I actually think he's doing his Venusaur worst. He ain't even trying half the time. He's not doing his Venusaur best, he's doing his Venusaur worst.
You know what? I think that depends on how you look at it. Because you could think, because they all have Truant ability, right? All of them. There's no other ability that they can have. So, I think, personally, that, they're dealing with debilitating, I don't know, disease isn't the right word.
I would appreciate it. If I was a Pokemon, I feel like I would vibe with how Slacking live his life. It'd be like, half the time I can't be bothered. I gotta take care of me time. You got a 50% me time. He's got a good work-life balance. It's just not good for working in my deck. So I think he's doing his Venusaur best or worst.
He's doing his best. His best is just, he can be there half the time.
It's what's best for him, not what's best for you.
Exactly.
He sleeps well. He gets a lot of good sleep.
And then we have, my choice for the Venusaur Best is the Bibarel from this set. The card art's kind of funny because Bibarel's like the side character in this, because there's
It's like a Smeargle.
A Smeargle, yes.
Taking a
Smeargle.
selfie looking.
He's totally photobombing the Bibarel, which is hilarious. Its ability is Reassuring Dam. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, cards in your deck can't be discarded by the effects of your opponent's attacks, abilities, item cards, or supporter cards. So, there are some cards that can discard cards from the top of your deck, and usually those are used in a mechanic called mill decks, for those of you that don't know. And I have never ever, in my time playing the TCG, I've never seen anyone successfully run a mill deck. There have been mill decks. Maybe if I went back far enough, I could maybe find something.
Durant. It was a Durant deck in the black and white era that was a very successful mill deck. I think once there was a really good mill deck, the TCG company was like, never again. It can't be that dangerous. And so they're very cautious when they add mill anything to not make it overwhelmingly powerful, because it's a mechanic that kind of skirts the game in a way. You know, like you're not playing the game, you're milling. So I think they're very cautious with it now. But there was a Durant deck that was dominant. And it was like, we're all milling. I mill, you all mill. It's like mill cereal, you know? Everybody was milling.
Right, but what year was that?
It was the black and white era, so I don't even know. Like, at least 10 years ago. It's been a minute.
So they came out with an answer, a Bibarel, 10 years later.
Well, you know, if you play Expanded, you're good. There you go.
There you go.
Meanwhile, this is a Bibarel. You could have been drawing till you had 5. And instead you have this, a Smeargle photobombing you.
Yeah.
It's good art, though. I do enjoy the Smeargle.
Yeah, it is funny. But, I mean, I guess you wouldn't be devoting that much to it if you're already using the Bibarel card draw, right? I don't think you would be investing too much in it, but it's still an odd card, and I don't understand why it was created, unless they're, like, preemptively...
Something coming out soon.
Yeah, like they've got something coming out, and they're preemptively making sure...
There's some other cards in this set that relate to it, like the Lure module. Each player reveals the top 3 cards of their deck, and then... No, that doesn't. That just shuffles back.
But that's
Never mind.
their choice, I believe.
Yeah, and it shuffles back in. It doesn't discard. So no, I don't know what they think this is going to save you from.
But, you know what? You tried your Venusaur best,
You
Bibarel.
did.
You were just 10 years too late.
You couldn't even be the star of your own art.
Slacking's faster than this Bibarel.
That's bad.
All right. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to us just rattle information at you. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Sublime, it has been a pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on.
It's always a pleasure. It's double the pleasure. Because we're doubles. We run in 2 today.
Yeah.
We hanging. Stay cool, y'all. It's hot.
Yeah. Stay cool. Stay indoors. Hide from the sun. It's not good for your skin. It's terrible out there. Have a good month, guys.
Closing time in Lavender Town.